So many people say that beach cleanups are actually one of the dumbest ways to tackle plastic pollution. We are conducting one today to figure out if that is true. Avengers assemble! Energy drink bottle, curtain. Yeah, this is a piece of a life jacket. What the hell? Even the trees are decorated in plastic. So many diapers here. It's nasty. Motorcycle waste. What's that sound? It's the sound of the cleanup. Akio plastic waste. We are now on our way to the beach. We are on Bongoyo Island. It's a small island right in front of Dar es Salaam. So all the trash that goes into the ocean in Dar es Salaam, through the rivers and other ways, is carried here by the currents. So even now in dry season, where it's not raining heavily, the beaches are very polluted, which we will see in a second. And this is what we're going to clean.
Before we get started, let's understand what the criticism about beach cleanups is. The first reason is plastic should not be on the beach in the first place. I think there's nothing to say about that. The second reason is you can't ever pick up all the plastic. And anyway, it's way too expensive because you need so many people to clean up all the beaches in the world. And the third reason is, this is the modern Sisyphus anyway. You clean it the one day and it looks exactly the same the next day.
To maybe counter the criticism or explain the criticism, the problem why the plastic waste is here in the first place is because there's no proper waste management in other parts of the world. So the waste is washing in from Dar es Salaam here, and we can see that it's mostly trash that floats. And this is why it ends up here on the beach. And while the ocean is still a bit away, we are currently in low tide. So when the tide comes in, all the waste is much higher as well and is washed ashore. And then it's low tide again and the waste is being carried out, and then the tide pushes more waste in again, carries some out again, and this is how the waste is always traveling around this island basically, in this drop from beach to beach. And this is why it is actually important to remove it, so that this cycle is breaking. And obviously at the same time we also need to make sure that waste management infrastructure is installed on land, that we put traps in the rivers, that less plastic is being pushed in here, but most importantly that all plastic waste is collected before it ever touches the environment. That's the important thing. But still, I think we can all agree that it is incredibly important to remove it here from the beach. And to the second point of criticism, whether or not we can actually catch all the plastic on a beach cleanup, the answer is no, but we can still catch a majority of it. And why can't we catch all plastics? Because again, it's mostly plastic that floats, so we get a lot of styrofoam here, and that is super brittle, right? So it immediately breaks down into microplastic as when it's being washed over the beach here. So getting all these tiny little pieces, yes, it is incredibly difficult, but still, this should not be an excuse to not do it, right? Because we can catch so much of it. More diapers. At least they are washed out by the ocean. Even the trees are decorated in plastic. It's not Christmas, it's just pollution. You can see here styrofoam in the tree, more textile waste in the tree, and it goes on and on all the way back here. So besides the standard packaging waste, we also find textiles on the beach. This is very clearly made from polyester. The standard packaging waste, blisters for medicine, more diapers. So many diapers here. It's nasty. Looks like it was medicine leaked into the ocean, which is also not very helpful because we don't want chemicals in the ocean. Parts of shoes, energy drink bottle. What else do we have here? It's like a curtain. Hi to all the German campers. This would look great in your caravan. Hit me up, you can have it. It's free. Addressing the other point of criticism, it is way too expensive to clean all the beaches. We're now roughly 16 people here, and it'll take us 1-2 hours to clean. This is maybe 50 square meters of beach, and we won't catch everything. So yes, it is expensive, and we can't rely on the goodwill of people to clean up our planet. Like, these people are taking time out of the workday, time out of their free time to do this here. Fortunately, we have a sponsor for this. We need to formalize this. We need to pay people to do this work, like we pay people to clean the streets, like we pay people to clean the parks. This needs to be a full-time job, taking care of the environment, and these people should be paid fairly. These people should get salaries that they can live from. Plastic is literally integrating into nature, and it's impossible to get it out of here. This is facing the sun directly. It's burning onto the stone. So maybe it's been this bottle that then slowly is being pushed into the stone, melts here and stays there forever. Maybe in 2,000, 3,000 years, archaeologists will look at us and say, okay, this has been the plastic age. And let's see what we got here. There's so much small pieces of plastic in here. I will not be able to get all of that out. So yeah, I can understand the criticism on beach cleanups, or actually I can't understand the criticism on beach cleanups. I agree with the fact that the focus must be on land, that the focus must be on household waste collection. But I mean, part of the beauty of this cleanup here is also it's educational, right? It's like we can show what's happening if there's no waste management, because this is only the tip of the iceberg, right? This is the stuff that fortunately got washed onto the beach that we can actually collect. There's so much stuff out there on the ground of the ocean, stuff that doesn't swim, that will never be retrieved, that will sit in the oceans, that will break down into microplastics. Toothpaste, also multi-layer, aluminum plastic. Actually, it's from Colgate, where I think they're the ones that actually came up with a monolayer toothpaste. So honor where honor is due. They opened the patent so all the toothpaste manufacturers can use it. So hopefully we see less of this, because currently there's aluminum in there as well. But as soon as you switch to a monolayer material, like for example HDPE, this can be recycled. So it will have a value on the market, and the likelihood of it ending up here on the beach is much, much lower, because it will have a value. You can turn it into a new product. What you cannot turn into a new product is actually what you can see here in the stone. And we could go on and on, but we don't want to bore you. This goes all along the beach, and all the white stuff that you see in here is diaper waste. These are all diapers that are caught in the stone. And frankly, we will not be in a position to remove all of that. And in many diapers you have synthetic fiber, so made from some kind of plastic, and this will very, very quickly break down into microplastics, disassemble, and then we have all the fiber in the water, and yeah, further contributing to microplastic pollution. So let's just walk together. All that white stuff, all that is diaper waste. I have a baby myself. I know that it's super difficult to not do that, because they need 10, 12, 13 a day. But maybe this is an eye-opener to change our behavior as well.
So we have lots of different types of plastic, but one of the surprising elements is PET that is clear. In general, PET that is clear actually has a very good recycling value, and so people collect that material. It's the dark PET like this, and the blue and the brown that normally is found everywhere. But the problem is, I think, that in Zanzibar, they don't collect clear PET or brown PET. And so you can see that this one, for instance, is Drop of Zanzibar. And I'm wondering, with the currents, is this bringing the plastic from Zanzibar, or is this the plastic from Dar? It could be both, it could be either. But normally in Dar es Salaam, you will find clear PET collected and recycled.
So what we can see is one person can actually carry the work of 16 people for 1 hour. And while he's obviously a very strong individual, it also shows a bit the problem, which is plastic is incredibly lightweight. So this entire collection took us almost 2 hours. If we're lucky, this is maybe 100 kg. And compare that with 11 million tons of plastic that goes into the ocean every single year.
Mimi hapa ni kazini kwangu, ni ofisini kwangu.
Okay. Leo.
Kiukweli watu wanaokuja kufanya usafi huku ni wachache sana, na mimi toka nimeanza kufanya kazi huku sijawahi kuona.
So in fact, this is all the plastic that we've cleaned for the past, almost 2 hours. Yeah. A lot of the beach is much cleaner than before. And I think to answer the question whether or not beach cleanups are the dumbest way to tackle plastic pollution, we can clearly say no, because we are loaded with plastic waste. I think part of the answer is also there's still a lot of plastic on the beaches. So this did not solve everything, right? If it would be that simple, companies like the recycler, like us, would not need to exist. But this is a first step. We're taking all the plastic home. None of that will ever enter the ocean again. So the one question remains, what happens to what's left? I think we want to organize more cleanups, that's for sure. And my idea would be that we actually find people that are here permanently, that are paid for their work, that can clean up the beaches every day, and not just the beaches where the tourists go, right? All the beaches, also the hidden ones here, and make sure that the waste is constantly being cleaned up, because it is so important. We can create jobs that way, we can keep some material at least in circulation, but certainly out of the environment. This is a marine protected area here. This is full of life. We need these ecosystems. They produce our oxygen. They are part of our food chain. There's no question whether or not these areas should be protected. So, as I said earlier, we need to pay people to do that job. This is not voluntary work. This is protection of our own species. And if we're too greedy for that, then maybe we don't deserve this. And the idea is to ask Johanna, the guy that helped us spontaneously at the beach cleanup, if he wants basically a full-time job of keeping the island clean. What I wanted to tell him is that I was really impressed that he just joined us, that we would like to offer him a job to keep the island clean. Yeah, the idea is basically that we keep as much of the island clean, that we organize regular pickups of the waste, and that we make sure, and that's very important, that the waste is not burned on the island, but that it goes back to Dar where it's sorted.
It's almost too good to be true that we found our guardian so quickly. Soon we will reach out to see how things are going.
Mara nyingi hapa tunakuwa tunapokea wageni. Wanakuja wageni, lakini mgeni anapokuja na tamani kukuta eneo. Japo kazi yangu ndio kupokea wageni, lakini inanilazimu kufanya usafi na taka nyingi ndo zinakuwa za plastiki. So ni moja ya kazi yangu, ndio maana hata leo hii nimekuja juu ya kufanya huduma hii nikavutiwa nayo na nikapendezwa nayo kifupi.
Asante sana kaka.
Asante sana. Karibuni tena. Welcome another day, my friend.
Subscribe to our channel to keep up with the work that's happening.